And I could not wait to get my friend on. He is the Philly Godfather. Okay? He is the Philly Godfather. Here he is, brother.
What's up, Dan? What's going on, brother?
All right. Let me ask you this there, my man. Did that Arizona loss make you waver a little bit on the Cowboys?
Nah, they went into that game so banged up. I mean, they should have won the game. You look at the box score; they kind of won the box score, but there were so many brain cramps. What worried me the most was Dak Prescott and his brain cramps in that game. The team was just, they're missing 3 offensive linemen. They're missing their best corner. When they get healthy again, they're going to still be dangerous. But when you're a 12.5-point favorite, you should win the game. And Arizona's feisty, man. They could be 3-0. They were in all 3 games to start the season. People are underestimating this team, and their coach has done a great job. And even though they're 1-2, they, like I said, they could be 3-0. So they're a very pesky team. This week they're catching 14 points against the 49ers. But yeah, it's disappointing to see the Cowboys lose, especially when you're holding a futures ticket on them. But when a team's banged up like that, and some of my biggest wagers have been against teams that are missing 2 offensive linemen, and the Cowboys are really banged up on that offensive line. So it didn't really surprise me much.
Mike Golick was on earlier, and he called the Eagle offense one-dimensional, or I'm paraphrasing it, one-dimensional and one read. And he said that he echoed what I thought. You can't win a Super Bowl right now with that style of play. Now, will it turn around 3-0? I get it, all that. But still, I mean, this has got to be the week, right? We see that offense click into gear here against Washington.
I mean, I hope so. If you look at Washington's numbers, they're some of the worst in football. They're 21st in yards per play on offense. On defense, they're 27th in opposing yards per play. The thing that's keeping them around in these games is their sack percentage. Their defensive line, they're 6th in the league in sack percentage. And that could cause Jalen Hurts some problems. You saw what the Patriots did. And to be honest, I mean, it's great to be 3-0. And this was really like the first clean victory the Eagles had all season. But it was against a team that was supposed to win 6 games on the season. I mean, before the season started, me and you were debating who's going to be the worst team, Tampa Bay or Arizona. So it's not like you really beat a good team. You beat 2 teams with expected projected regular season win totals at 8 with the Patriots and the Vikings. And now you beat a 6.5-win team. I mean, you got to beat these bad teams, but I wouldn't be too excited. The Eagles, I mean, their numbers, they're 11th in yards per play on offense. The run game, that offensive line is really carrying them. When you go up against a defensive line that can stop the run, they're going to have some issues.
Are you buying Detroit? I want to show you this on Detroit. I mean, that game wasn't really close last night against the Packers, and it was at Lambeau. Look at the Lions here. They go into Seattle, lose a game in OT. They win a game in Kansas City on the road against the defending champion Chiefs. They win at Lambeau. I mean, so you go to Seattle, tough place. You win at Arrowhead, tough place. You win at Lambeau. Are you buying them now? Now, word is Jameson Williams is going to be ready to go after week 5 here.
Well, they got some key components back last night, and the Packers were missing 2 offensive linemen. I mean, it's all about your offensive line. Can you protect your quarterback? You saw how fast that Detroit Lions pass rush was getting to the backfield. So if you can't protect Love, he's going to have some issues, and you saw that early. The Lions are for real. I mean, they're stacked. You saw what they did last year. They almost snuck in the playoffs, and I think they got better. They played for their coach, Campbell, and this is the team that's supposed to win the NFC North, and I don't see anyone else beating them. The Bears stink. I mean, the Packers are, they're okay. And when they're healthy, they're going to contend a little better than they did last night. But the Lions are definitely the team to beat in that division.
Who'd you rather be coached by? Kneecap Dan Campbell or fan waving and cheerleader Nick Sirianni?
Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell. He's a real football. Look at him on the field.
I know
those expressions he makes. I mean, Sirianni looks like that cocky kid we used to beat up when he was little. You know what I mean? Dan Campbell. I don't care who you are.
Nick Sirianni's the guy you smash with the dodgeball in the gym, and Dan Campbell's the guy you pick first or second, right?
And even after you smash Sirianni, he's still talking smack on you. He's one of those guys.
He's Italian, that's why.
No, I like him now. Not the bother. I mean, Sirianni, you can't argue with success, man. No matter what you think about him, the guy keeps winning. So God bless him.
You know what? He's had some he's really had some games that really makes you turn the corner on him being a coach, winning at Arrowhead, and then crushing that Packer team up there at Lambeau. I mean, I'm starting to like the kneecap guy. I really am. I mean, hey, get this, just to show you how weird I am. I like the kneecap guy and Mike McDaniel, the weirdo guy with the Hello Kitty backpack that shows up to like team meetings. He drives a Tesla and he's got a
smart guy. If you remember, before the season started on your show, I gave him out to become coach of the year this year at 20-1. So it's looking good so far. He's the favorite. Now it's down to 4-1, but it's still a long season. And as we all know, injuries, man, they play such a major role on who gets, into the playoffs, who gets to the Super Bowl. Last year, the Eagles and Chiefs were two of the healthiest teams in the NFL, and they got there. This year, it might be a little different.
Yeah, man, I don't know if you could trust a guy with a backpack from Hello Kitty. I don't know. All right, let's get to the Sunday games here. Atlanta at Jacksonville. Surely Jacksonville turns this thing back around again and squares that record up to 2-2, right? Or do you think there's more issues there?
Man, I mean, they have to. If they go 1-3, they're in trouble in that division because the Colts with Richardson look a lot better than we thought. The Texans with Stroud, who's lighting up the league, he might become Offensive Player of the Year this year. I think he's second favorite as of right now behind Robinson, the running back. It's tough. I mean, I think it's a coin flip. The game's a coin flip. The Jags never perform well overseas. Laying 3, I don't know, man. Both these teams are in the basement of the NFL in points per game. I think one's averaging 18, the other one's averaging 19. Anytime you get a coin flip, if you can grab the 3.5, if it's still out there, I'd probably take Atlanta plus 3.5. I'm not touching the game, but yeah, this is just ugly, man. I mean, it's just an ugly game, especially with weather. They're expecting some wind and some rain over there, so that could, anything can happen in that type of weather.
Plus, it's the land of fish and chips. I don't eat either. All right. Not for me, man. And anytime that you have a dish called cold dick, I'm not interested in anything for Monday.
I've been over there once. It was raining, it was windy, and the food.
Yeah, no way, man. They got a dish over there called cold dick. They tried serving it to me when I played the game over there. Man. And I'm like, not happening, man. That's not working for me. All right, the game of the weekend here, man. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
Miami and Buffalo. In Buffalo, who do you like?
I kind of like the under. I mean, call me crazy. You got two great offenses. But if you look at the AFC divisional games this season that's been played, they scored a combined 25, 38, and 41 points in those games. And Buffalo's got a pretty good defense. You saw what happened when Miami played the Patriots, who Patriots also have a pretty good defense. The whole world's going to be betting the over here. And I think the whole world's betting Miami. I kind of like Buffalo. They can't afford to go 0-2 in the division. And they can't afford to get 2 games behind the Dolphins. I don't want to say it's like a do or die game for Buffalo, but they really need this game big time to stay in pace with the Dolphins here. I like Buffalo minus 2.5. I think they win the game.
Yeah, I got Buffalo with 2 points too. I think a 27-24 game, something like that at home. The game that, hey, dude, this game right here, I think I'd rather watch Boise State versus San Jose State, but Denver versus Chicago. I mean, surely this has got to be the game Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson, right?
I mean, you hope so. The spread's 3 on the road, so you expect them to win. I think the opening line was like 1.5. It's moved to 3, so there's some money on Denver here. Chicago's just a mess. I mean, that everyone's blaming, the coaches and the GM and all the players. It's like they're a bunch of crybabies, and they're blaming everyone else but themselves for their own play. Justin Fields, I mean, is he the next Trey Lance? Is he gone? I mean, can the kid play? I'm not even sure he can play anymore. So the Bears are a mess. I talk to my buddy Kaplan out in Chicago every week, and he always tells me, whatever you do, don't invest no money on the Bears. So I'm not touching the Bears here at all.
I don't know what's worse right now, Shay, the FBI in our country or the Bears. All right, let's go to another big game.
I thought FBI standing for full-blooded Italian.
Baltimore at Cleveland, and it looks like Tone says Watson's going to play. He said that he's going to play. He's thrown 2 or 3 passes all week long. Baltimore's banged up too in the wide receiving core going into this. Who do you like in this one?
This is a tough one, man. you saw the Ravens last week. They couldn't win the game as an 8-point favorite against the Colts. I know they were really banged up last week. This week, they're still banged up. Baltimore's got one of the better pass defenses in the league. I think they're top 5. So I had Watson having a big game last week against Tennessee because their pass defense was kind of weak. I think they were ranked 29th in the league. This week, the Ravens' pass defense is going to give us some issues. But that defense on the Browns, I mean, number 1 in opponent yards per play, number 1 in opponent passing yards per attempt, number 2 in opponent yards per rush attempt. This defense can win the game by themselves. I don't even think they need Watson to be 100% healthy. The line went from 3 down to 1.5 after the news of Watson maybe not playing, but he's going to play. This is going to be a battle. If anything, I like the Browns on the money line. I think it's going to be like a 1-point game. I think the team that has the ball last, kicks a field goal, is probably going to win it. Low-scoring game. The total went from 44 down to 39. Both these defenses are pretty good. You got some banged-up guys on the offensive side of the field for Baltimore, so I'm not expecting a lot of points. I think the Browns pull this out.
Love these two quarterbacks in this game too. Cincinnati, Tennessee. Tennessee, it's so well coached by Mike Vrabel. He's such a good coach. The thing about him, he may not have the top talented roster every week, Godfather, but you know what he does? They're always ready to play. They're always, and you know what? People call Tannehill out. The guy who calls Tannehill out the most is the coach. And here you got Cincinnati. I mean, like you said, in the AFC, you can't fall to 1-3 here like the Jags. Do they square it up going into Tennessee and into Nashville and get that record of 2-2?
Yeah, it's never easy playing in Nashville, especially with a coach like Vrabel. But you saw Joe Burrow, even though he's limping around a little bit, he's still not 100%. You saw what he did to that pass defense last week, and the Rams' pass defense is a lot better than this Tennessee's pass defense. Like I mentioned earlier, I think they're 29th in the league in opponent yards per pass attempt. You saw Deshaun Watson have a big game. His yardage last week was 235.5, and I think he threw for like 270 or 280. I think Burrow has a big day. I like the Bengals here. Anything under a field goal. I think they win the game. They get to 2-2, and they cover the spread.
Rams at Indianapolis. What's crazy about this one here? Godfather, I'll tell you what. Can you believe it? If Shane Steichen gets to 3-1, and Anthony Richardson's playing in this thing, and that kid Moss had 100 yards last week, and supposedly next week they're getting Jonathan Taylor back too. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. Could be one of the early coaching surprises. And the way the offense is sputtered in Philly, you'd start making this narrative if the Washington game, you still see that offense sputtering, that Shane Steichen was a huge loss in that play calling.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you see, and Richardson said he's going to play. I'm pretty sure he's playing. So that makes the world difference here. The public's all over the Rams here. I think 75% of the tickets already are placed on the Rams in the market. I talked to guys offshore and in Vegas. Now most of the money comes in on game day, but that's a huge tilt on the ticket count already. So no one's expecting the Colts to do anything here. I kind of like the Colts at home here. I think they can beat this Rams team.
I do too.
And that pass rush, that defense is pretty good on this Colts team. I think they got a shot. I like the Colts at home.
New Orleans always at home versus Tampa Bay. Tom Brady had problems with Dennis Allen's defense. And, New Orleans at home, they always play big at home. Is this a big day for Derek Carr in New Orleans versus the Bucs, who are banged up going into this?
Yeah, he's a little banged up going into this. But, I mean, the Buccaneers, they came out, they were cute 2-1, but we all know what they really are. I mean, if they win 6 games this season, they're going to be lucky. That Saints defense is for real.
Hold on, man. The Eagle fans will tell you they're a 12-5 team.
We're winning the Super Bowl. We beat the Bucs. I don't see Tom Brady walking through that door. That ain't the same Bucs team, man. I'm sorry to break it to you. Now, I like the Saints here. Hey, if you get anything under a field goal, right now it's around 3.5. You might be able to get like a -3 juiced at -115. I like the Saints. I think they win the game, cover the spread kind of easily.
Okay. I didn't ask you what the score was. Washington, Philly. I'm hearing it's 8. It's in Philly. What do you got here for this one here?
It's up to 9.5. It's probably going to go closer to 10. The whole world.
So you think it hits 10 by game day?
It's 9.5 already, and as bad as Washington looked last week, I mean they got their doors blown off by the
They did. Get this too. What's crazy? Hey, last week Buffalo ran the ball for 170 yards on 33 attempts at 5-1 a clip. They gave 20 completions up. But again, here's the same defense and the same coaching staff that beat a healthy Eagles team last year and beat them at full strength. I mean, there's Rivera and Del Rio and Bieniemy, because it's a division opponent and it's a short work week. Does that play into it, or do the Eagles just blow them out on Sunday?
It's tough. It's a division game. I mean, you're laying 9-10 points in a division game. It's never easy to cover. And last year, Commanders came in as 11-point underdogs and won the game outright. So you saw anything can happen. This year, I don't think their rush defense is as good as it was last year. They're 20th in the league in opponent yards per rush, opponent yards per rush on the defensive side of the ball. So they're having problems stopping the run. And once the Eagles, realize that you can't stop the run, they're just going to run the ball down your throat. They're going to limit your possessions on offense. Now, they still have a good pass rush, so that should give Hurts some problems. And he has made some mistakes this season against some defenses that really aren't that great, other than the Patriots. But those other two teams, the Vikings and Buccaneers, their defense,
he has the same numbers as Howell.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. He hasn't really, he got that big contract, and it seems like his numbers are going the wrong way. But it's a lot of points. If it gets to 10, I hate to say it, but you're buying into an inflated price here with the Eagles. I mean, this line should really be 7.5 at the most. If it gets to 10, the value's on the Commanders. Now, it doesn't mean the Eagles don't go in there and blow them out. But in this business, it's all about the price, and you're always looking to get the best of the number. And at plus 10, I would have to be on the Commanders.
I would say this to you, that to me it looks like a 31-17 game, but because these divisional games and how they play out and how the coaching has been on the offensive side and the inconsistency, it kind of looks like a 28-20 game to me. So I'm caught in the middle, and I'm saying Eagles win, but like you said, you get north of 9 or 10 points.
Yeah.
The value's in the pick with the Commanders.
Yeah, the back door is always open in these divisional games. How many times have we watched a team up by 14, 15, 16, laying 10, and then you get a trash touchdown at the end and they don't cover the spread, especially with the betting public? Everyone and their mother and their Aunt Bertha is going to be betting the Eagles this week, and that's never a good thing if you're looking to back a team.
Well, just always remember, man, just when your passing game's not going, hand it off. And you look like Woody Hayes' like Ohio State Buckeye teams running. That's what I thought I was watching against the Bucs. I thought I was getting ready for like Archie Griffin and them guys running the ball back in the day versus Michigan. Not much of a passing attack. Minnesota, Carolina. I kind of like Carolina. I guess Bryce Young is playing. Dude, Minnesota sucks defensively. I mean, do you stay away from a game like that?
It's funny. They're so bad defensively, and they have a -7 turnover differential on the season, the Vikings. But if you look at yards per play, I think they're in the top 5. Their offense is strong. As long as they don't turn the ball over, they probably kill Carolina here. They need a win so bad. I mean, let's be honest. You start off with no wins on the season going into the 4th week. Everyone's in trouble. So I kind of like the Vikings here. I think they can move the ball in this Carolina defense. I know Carolina's at home. But like I said, they're top 5 in yards per play metric on offense. And if they don't turn the ball over, they cover the spread. Now, if they go in there and turn the ball over 3, 4, 5 times like they have been, then they got no shot of winning the game or covering the spread at all.
A couple more games left here. Now, I don't know who thought this was smart, but you got the Raiders going into Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium versus the Chargers. I mean, Godfather, you could take the Charger fan base and the Ram fan base, combine them, and you're not going to have the silver and black people. They're just going to absolutely take over SoFi Stadium. And I don't know what that means. The Rams have been kind of a surprise, but then again, they got a really great coach. Do you know that Sean McVay's still the youngest coach in the NFL, and he's been in the league like almost 9 years now?
He's one of the best. I mean, let's be honest. He took that Rams team to the Super Bowl. He comes up with different schemes. This year, this Rams team wasn't supposed to do anything, and they've been competing in almost every game. So he's one hell of a coach.
Okay, here's your boys. New England at Dallas. It's Dak Prescott. No, it's not. No, it's Zeke being honored in some form or fashion at AT&T. How do you see this bad puppy?
It's a lot of points, 7 points. I like the Patriots. The Cowboys are still banged up on their offensive line until they get 100% healthy. The look-ahead line was -4. Now it's been inflated to 7 because the Cowboys have looked pretty good after 3 weeks. Now, I know they lost last week, but that's a big number. The Patriots, they played the Eagles tough. They played the Dolphins tough. They went in there. They beat the Jets, and they covered the number. I like the Patriots here, +7.
Arizona at the best team in the NFC, San Francisco 49ers. Who do you got here? Is this a big one here for San Fran?
It's 14-point spread, man.
Holy cow.
That's a
I
big
might
number.
take the Cardinals on that one.
That's a big number. But, you're coming off a big emotional win that nobody expected. They might be smelling themselves a little bit, but I think they're well coached, and they've been in every game. Like I said, Arizona could be 3-0. Now they're 1-2, but it took a miraculous comeback by the Giants, and they were in that first game against the Commanders. So, this one's tough. It's just that San Francisco's so well coached. They're so efficient on the football field. Man, it's a tough one, man. Gun to my head, I'd probably take San Francisco here, but it wouldn't surprise me if Arizona covers the spread.
Okay, 2 games left. This last one though the second to last one has a little sidebar bet. Over under Taylor Swift stays with Travis Kelce a year or under. What's the over under on that?
I'll take the alternate line, under 3 months plus 600. A year. That's like an eternity for these performers and movie stars and rap artists and singers. A year. There's no way.
So you think this thing with Taylor Swift
90 days tops.
under a year?
It's like a DUI. You got to go do 90 days and you're done.
This guy's going to be back on Tinder swiping right. Kansas, hey, plus she's going to be there, so I'm assuming that's got to be some points here for KC.
Is it even real? Like, is it a staged relationship? I don't know.
I have no idea what I have. So, like, what? It's like a mail order, like.
I don't know. I don't even know what song she sings. I'm not a big Swift fan. Hopefully they're happy. They fall in love and have some beautiful kids.
I really don't care. I seriously, I could care. Kansas City at the Jets. Jets got a good D, dude. Yeah. They go in there and do the job on them?
I don't think so, man. It's a lot of points. It's up to 9. If I can grab 10, I'll take the Jets plus 10 with that defense. As of right now, like 90% of the tickets placed are on Kansas City. The whole world's betting Kansas City like they got the next day's newspaper. And they're a little banged up. Let's be honest. The Chiefs are a little banged up. And the Jets defense, man, they're strong. I'm not looking to bet the game, but at plus 10, I'm leaning towards the Jets. And I didn't give you the pick on the Chargers and Raiders game. I like the Chargers. I think they blow the Raiders out this week.
Huh. Okay. Finally, here's dude. The Giants are frauds, right?
Well, that's what the NFL always makes you think, right? This team is horrible. They're frauds.
Plus, it's a trip across the country. You got to come across the country here.
Yeah. Seattle's going. I mean, the line went from pick'em. Seattle's -1.5 now. Total's 47. Both pass defenses are probably the worst in the NFL. I think they're ranked like 27th and 28th. I think they score a ton of points. I think it goes over 47. I mean, you can flip a coin here. I don't know. Giants, they might surprise some people. And this is another game where the betting public, I know it's early, but they're going to be all over Seattle here. No one's looking to bet the Giants. But if you look at that San Fran game, they made some mistakes. There was a couple deflected passes that went San Fran's way. Now, San Fran's a lot better and more efficient, but they're not as bad as they've looked. I don't think they're as bad as they've looked. If the game gets to 3, then I'll be looking to take the Giants at home plus 3.
I'm only going to do one college game here. Colorado, USC. USC has no defense, but I think they have enough talent on the defense to stop Colorado. But there's going to be a lot of points put up. Are you looking? I mean, is this more of an over/under kind of game and points scored? Because I think SC wins this game because they're just better. Okay, but I don't know, man. I mean, if you don't play defense and you have an offense and a powerful offense like Colorado, that's going to keep you in the game.
I mean, the total is 74 points. They're expecting a ton of points in this game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably going to keep going up. But USC,
I see like a 45-40 game.
They're 2-2 against the spread. They really haven't been covering the number. They played some teams that, their projected regular season win total was like 4.5, 5.5, 4, 3. They really haven't played any good teams. Now, is Colorado that much better? They're right now their adjusted regular season win total is at 5.5, but at least they have an offense. They got a pulse. You're playing in high altitude there in Colorado, right? So they have, a built-in home field advantage that's a little slightly better than any other team in college football. Man, this is tough. At anything under 21, I'm leaning towards USC, but right now it's at 21.5. If it gets to 24, I think you got to look to play Colorado here, man. I mean, USC hasn't been outperforming the market. As good as they look, I think Washington's better than they are.
They are better. They're going to win the Pac-12.
Yeah, and we bet them at the beginning of the year at 5-1 to win the Pac, but it's right there. The number's right there, man. But I'm leaning towards Colorado a little bit if it gets to 24. But as of right now, anything under 21, I probably like USC.
Well, the man who has roots going back to Athens versus the Italian stallion over here.
Hey, yo.
We got it going on here, man. Tell the folks how they can find you this weekend and where they can get all your great stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Philly Godfather. You can stop by the PhillyGodfather.com. And we got our show on Sirius XM, Sports Grid, and JAKIB Sports, the sports betting show. So make sure you guys check it out.
Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great weekend, guys.
You got it. That is Philly Godfather. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.